accent.
I've got such a big voice, you could have heard me anyway, couldn't you?
It's nice to see you. You can do?
I can't see him, so I can't talk to him.
You've been away from the UK for quite a while.
Yes, I've just got back. There it is. That's my life, right there.
In that bag?
In that bag.
So what's kind of brought you back to the UK after being away for so long in Australia?
Well, I went over to Australia because my children, who are actually my parents, I've discovered. I have given birth to my parents. My children are so normal and so responsible and beautifully behaved. But my children were really, really ill, so I went to Australia to get them better. And it took a lot longer than I thought. And then I discovered, my career started there. So I sort of stayed, but I have never, ever, for one day, the whole time I've been there, I've been homesick. Because I'm just an old woodland Viking, I belong here. I can't bear the heat. And I was living right on Manly Beach, and I knew every shadow, I knew every tree that you could hide under. I just don't do sun. So that's it being in Australia, and you go, I hate the sun. And then I went to live in the States for a while, because the children needed certain operations. God, this is whistling. And the children needed certain operations. So I went to America, and then I went back to Australia, and then I just got up one day and I said, that's it, I'm going home. And my partner's still there, Barry Crocker, who is in Australia. He's in the dictionary. They say on the sport, oh, he's having a real Barry Crocker today, which is a shocker. And and he's absolutely fabulous. People say, how do you do a long-distance relationship? And I said, well, I've just been back there for a week, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And just been back there for a week, and he gave me all his sewing, and I brought it home, and I did it all, and I posted it back. That's how I do it.
It wasn't washing, was it, right?
Oh, I got that. I'm doing the washing next week, actually, and then I post it back.
So what was it like when you originally went over to Australia, having been in England for a long time? Was it quite a big culture shock being over there?
Oh, huge. It's so slow and so different, and I learned to love it. And I have been right across Australia. I mean, a couple of years ago I took my mum on the show, Me and Jezebel. So I dragged Betty Davis all around the outback, which was hysterical. Betty kept looking at me saying, what the hell are we doing out here? But it was, when I went back there this time, I'll tell you why I went back there actually. I got a phone call. There's an American feature cartoon being done, right? And I got this phone call from my agent in Australia, because I've got agents everywhere. And so he said, oh, they've heard your voice name and they're really, really interested in you playing a 9-month-old puppy dog from Texas. Go figure. And I said, oh, really? So they said, well, they've heard the voice, they love the voice, but the American producer wants to just hear you over the phone. Well, where I live in London, my phone doesn't, I'm right on the top floor with a skylight, and my phone, you can't, it drops out. And so at 7 o'clock in the morning, I get this phone call from America, from a man named Tex Houston. Now, I thought, no, someone's having a laugh. Nobody's called Tex Houston from America. Anyway, so Tex Houston, I guess so he said, now it's a 9-month-old puppy dog, da-da-da-da. So I thought, well, everybody in the house was asleep, so I didn't want to wake them up. So to get the right line, I'm hanging out at the skylight, big phone, right? At 7:30 in the morning across Camberwell, and I'm going, hey, whoa! And then he said, oh, could I hear the dog panting? And out the window right near him, what do you get if you cross a sheep with a kangaroo? You get a woolly jumper. Now, I said to the young people in the house, I said, I'm so sorry, darlings, I hope I didn't wake you. And they said, no, but the whole of Camberwell is very disturbed at what we've got living in our attic. And the Maudsley Hospital is only just down the road. I'm booked in. Anyway, so I got a phone call back saying, we'd like you to play the puppy dog. Where would you like to do it? America, Australia? I said, oh, Australia, dude. Because I've got to see the old man, and see my son, check him out, you know, and my dog. And so I went back and I did this, the puppy dog, and then came back again. Literally.
I was going to say, what's it like coming back?
I didn't answer the question you just asked me, so why ask me another one? Sorry. Nobody wanted the job of interviewing me, right? Steve Hatcher said, nah. Right? And I...
Well, didn't he? Was it before Christmas last year?
Yes, he did. And he passed it on to you. It's like Gary Russell said, oh, if there's an interview for Katy, I'm the only one left that'll do it.
Anyway, I was going to say, coming back to the UK now, are you still surprised about being asked about Doctor Who? I mean, it's supposed to be, it's never really gone away in many ways. Have you always been kind of contacted about it?
Well, it sort of went away in the sense that, you know, living in Australia and America, although, yes, they have Doctor Who, you know, it's not quite the same as it is here. So, you know, for years, and because I've never, you know, my characters are all so multiple and different. You know, in the play I've just done, I play 7 people. From the age of 4 to 84, the 84 being easier for me to do now, who interrupt each other in different voices. So, you know, but to actually have the feel, Doctor Who in England is a totally different feel. Do you know what I mean? And it's so good being back and seeing, you know, some of the people that I've seen who've now got children and they bring their little kiddies along, and it's just lovely. And I think also I never expected that Jo Grant, you know, as far as I was concerned, she was finished, you know. And when Russell, it was so funny, I got a phone call, I was babysitting my dogs, Bin Bag and Oscar. And and I got this call, and it was Gary Russell saying, Katy, don't say anything to anybody about it, will you? I said, sorry? Say anything about what? Pardon? He said, well, do you know? I said, no, I don't know. He said, well, ask your agent. So I rang my agent, and he said, I'm not allowed to tell you. I said, tell me what? I mean, how can people actually, you know, I'm walking around going, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, eventually they said, Russell has written this thingy. So the next day I'm trotting along, and I get a phone call, and I'm looking for a particular theatre in London, and it's Russell, and he says, hello, darling, isn't it exciting? And I'm still going, I don't really know what. And he said, is this a good time to talk? And I said, well, yes, but I'm actually looking for a theatre at the moment. I'm supposed to be... He said, so he Googled the theatre in Los Angeles. I'm in London. I still haven't had the discussion. Anyway, eventually they said, we want to bring Jo back. And I've always been like reticent.
I was going to say, was that, I think before when you've spoken, you've always been kind of a bit reticent about going back to the past. So,
we've never said never, but I just, you know, it's like that thing of, that was then, this is now, and I'm very much like, you know, I want to try something new all the time just because I want to see if I can, you know. And when I saw the script, it was so wonderful. Should I tell you a secret? Jo Jones, there's a little clue. Jo Jones now has 13 grandchildren and 7 children, and not one of them has ever been to school, and they were all named after places like Santiago. And it's just the most wonderful script, it really is. I think I can only describe it as I think I look like Indiana Jones's granny in it, you know. And it was so funny. We were doing the shots for the TV Times sort of cover, or what cover, who knows, you know, back page, who knows. And there's Matt, you know, who is just wonderful. And there's Matt. you know, with attitude and sonic screwdriver. And there's Liz, with attitude and sonic lipstick, right? And I'm standing there thinking, oh, I haven't got a sonic screwdriver. I haven't got nothing. And so I stood there and I thought, and I suddenly thought of my darling John, and I thought, there's only one thing I have got as Joe. And so I thought, okay, when in doubt, attitude, baby, attitude. And so we did, and it was just, it was really, I had the best time. It was wonderful.
Was it easy to go back to play that role? And did you find when you got on set, read the script, it kind of very natural to do?
Naturally to me. Well, no, because you have to think when you're playing a character that, dare I say, it was 40 years ago. When you're supposed to all gasp and say, "How are you still alive?" No, when you played a character that's 40 years ago, you have to think how that character would have changed, or how she would have grown, what she would have kept that was her. You know how as we get older, we do change, because you never stay thinking the same thoughts, believing the same beliefs. Hopefully, you move along, you learn, you grow. And, I needed to bring all that in, but there needed to be certain elements about her that she would never let go of. And so I had to work that out, and with, of course, having someone like Russell right in LA. He had that, except he got a bit mixed up with Joe Grant and Katy Manning. There's a line in it where he says, Joe goes up to every monster going, "Oh, aren't you gorgeous, aren't you fabulous, darling? If only I had my glasses." And I thought, nobody knew that I couldn't see back then. But it's a lovely script, and working with Liz was terrific. We got on really, really well. Matt was a treat. The children were absolutely. No, I had a ball, they were saying to me, "What do you think of the monsters?" I said, "I can't see them." And then there'd be these bloody great big turkey things, where? So nothing's changed much on that.
So, going back to when you first got on Doctor Who.
He's going to get me back somewhere.
What was it like? How did you actually get the part? And
what, you mean back then?
Yeah,
you don't mean now? Well, I was actually doing a television series called Man at the Top with an actor called Kenneth Haig, who none of you will remember probably, with an actor called Kenneth Haig. And I knew there was a reason why I stayed at school until I was 12. I learned to speak French, and I got a part, 4 lines as a French au pair. So, I was very proud of myself. You see, going to school was really worthwhile. I speak French. And I got this part because I spoke French. And I'd been in it, we'd been rehearsing about 2 days, and they decided, John Bray, who wrote it, and Kenneth Haig and the producers got together, and they decided that I was to be given the Juve lead. So I was taken, I thought I got the sack, naturally, because I went in and they said, "Oh, you're not playing her anymore." I thought, "Oh, no." What am I going to do? And so they gave me the Juve lead. And while I was doing that, I was asked if I'd like to audition for Doctor Who, which, of course, I grew up on and absolutely loved with William Hartnell. And so I said, okay. And I was really late going, they'd already shortlisted it. Terence Dix tells the story about it. And they'd already shortlisted it, and they had Shakira Kane, Michael Caine's wife, who is, one would rule the world if one looked like her. And then there was another lovely lady, and I think Rula Lenska was up for it. And another lovely lady called, I think it was, I don't know, I know she was lovely. And anyway,